Do you know those moments when you want to do something creative, but you're just drawing one blank after the other? You feel no mojo whatsoever, and you lack any kind of inspiration. Well, I'm in that spot right now, so I'd like to practice what I preach. And when you've asked me in the past how to overcome a lack of mojo, I always said that it helps to sit down and play with your craft supplies rather than just sitting on the couch and waiting for inspiration to strike. So I'm here in my March signature of my current junk journal planner. I have a plan with me playlist linked below in case you want to see how I made this planner and how I work in it. And on this page, you see I have this very wide paper bag. So I thought maybe I would just start playing with this and let's see what will happen. I have no plans whatsoever. My head is completely blank at the moment. I've had so much going on in my life that I haven't really had any headspace for crafting. So this is me trying to get back into it and trying to encourage you if you're in a similar situation. Maybe it would be fun to make a double pocket out of this. Like one going like this and then maybe a tuck spot from this side. But I don't really want these to be in the way. So let's cut along this crease. And this crease. Okay, so we have that, and maybe we could fold it in because this is quite wide. There's not a lot of room here to tuck something in, and instead of cutting that down, let's strengthen it a bit by folding it. I think I'll fold it in. Maybe about a centimeter. And what do we do with these here? I don't just want to cut them away because I think this would be a bit flimsy. So what if I just glue those down? Let's start with that. Let me know if you're in a similar situation. And let me know if from experience you have other ways of getting out of the creative funk. Because I think this is something that we all deal with from time to time. I mean, there's no way that we can be inspired and motivated 24/7. I think it's natural that these creative phases come and go. Our cup can't always be full. Sometimes we just also have to refill our cups by doing other activities. At least that's my opinion. And sometimes life just throws so many things at you that if you wanted to, you don't have the time to create. Okay, so now I have one pocket here, and then we have this tuck spot here, and I'd like to decorate it. So for the inside here, I would like something soft. So I'm going to choose a fabric. This one here is by Tim Holtz and it's called Botanical. It's definitely one of my favorites. And I want a part that has some of the pinks. This part here, for example. I don't mind some of the paper bag edges showing. So this should fit in here. So I'm going to thin down some PVA glue. And then I'll just add that underneath my fabric. Next, I want to glue down this flap here. Then we could cut another piece of this to cover this flap here. I'll have it go around. I'm just thinking in baby steps here. I don't want anything complicated that would overwhelm me right now, because I'm just trying to ease into the process and just have fun playing with my elements without feeling any kind of pressure to create something incredible or substantial. You know what I mean? I just want to play and find joy in the creative process. So this is definitely not a tutorial. I want to keep my channel authentic. So whatever I'm going through, you'll go through with me. And I'm hoping that you can relate. So rather than gluing these two ends down, I would like to use my crocodile to add a hole. I'll use the bigger hole here. So thankfully that is going to punch through my fabric as well. And any parts that are not completely punched out, I can just snip off. Then I'm going to take two of my large eyelets. What color shall we take? Either these. Yeah, actually, let's go with these. Why not? I've recently posted a video with my favorite junk journal supplies, and this is definitely one of the tools. Even though it is a bit more pricey, it's definitely worth investing in a crocodile. So let's secure these. I want these to have a function, so I want to tie something in between, but I also want to add a sentiment. So let's combine those two and first find a sentiment. I've been liking these a lot. These are by Studio Light and they're called Janine's Mindful Art Collection Essentials. And they have the number JMAES-STIC07. And it's falling apart. I think black would stick out very well here. Oh, how about this one? Happiness is not out there, it's in you. I like that a lot, because what we're doing right here is exactly that. We're finding happiness within ourselves by creating something that we enjoy. So that's great. And let's mount that on some cardboard. So I have some chocolate packaging here, always ready to go. And let's cover that with some more of this beautiful fabric. As always, I have a link for the online fabric store that I get all of these beautiful designer fabrics from, linked below. It is a German website. It's called Quilting for You. And Romy, the owner, is an absolute delight. So I always keep my brush in a water when I use glue so that it doesn't stiffen. And that works really well. And by the way, speaking of chocolate, I always thought I was doing something healthy by eating 70% chocolate. But now they found in studies that the higher the chocolate amount in your chocolate, the higher the heavy metals, like lead is one of them. Even if you take healthy chocolates like, you know, some organic, fair trade, whatever, they still have the lead problem. And it's so disappointing. Of course, if you take lower amounts of chocolate and you take higher amounts of sugar, that's not good either. So what to do? I don't know. Definitely first world problems. I know. I always bought this Lindt one because it's one of the very few that don't use palm oil in them. Because even a lot of the organic ones use palm oil, which I don't want to use because that's not good for the environment. We do the best we can, right? I feel like I'm always adjusting, trying to make good decisions, but it's not easy. Let's cut the corners just because it's a fun shape. Looks more like a tag or something now. I should not have cut those ends so short because I wanted to punch holes in them. We'll still make this work. I'll ink up the edges with walnut stain. Since I didn't leave enough space to punch a hole, I can use my awl. I'll give it my all. At least this way we can still attach a thinner twine. So maybe this one will work. So let's take a needle. Hopefully I have one with an eye that's big enough. So let's go in the back. How do we do this? And we'll go in the hole. And then we can go back in the hole. Center that. Then go in here. Go through this one. Go back down. And then we could just tie those off. I have no idea yet what's going to happen on this side of the paper bag. We'll tackle that another time. So now we have this thing here. And I'm going to leave this because I think that's quite a nice pattern. Then let's add something here in this tuck spot. I'm going to choose something from my current kit, which is called Gatsby's Garden. This is some of the ephemera. Maybe we put a tag or a journaling card. Let's see. The colors go quite well. Oh, I like the greens in this one. It is just a tiny bit too tall. So let's just chop a little bit of that off. I will link this kit for you below just in case you want to have a look at it more closely. Yep, now it works. I definitely want to add some more interest and texture on here by adding a tab on the top. Maybe a piece of this one. Then we're going to have an issue putting it in, I think. Okay, what if we add something to the left side? Because who says that we have to add something on the top? Don't have a lot of space here either. Don't want to cover up her head. I should ink this before I do that. Needs more, definitely more. That's a maybe. Or some pink. Yeah, I think I'll take pink so that it picks up this pink right there. Don't want a perfectly rectangular piece. I want this to look kind of beat up. And of course it needs buttons. So I have these two small white ones. And I like that they're not exactly the same color. So I'll add some thread through them. So I'm looking what else is around me on my desk for inspiration. And one thing I see is this wrapping paper. So it was my hubby's birthday recently and I wrapped the present in this paper. I already added another piece from another present in my little art journal, but this was from another present and I want to make this into a coin envelope into which I will add this little AirPod AirPod pamphlet because that was the present I got him. So I want to document that. So let's make a coin envelope that then can go in here. So it needs to be this width. I want this little heart to be in the middle, obviously. So let's fold one half around it. Obviously, I'll be folding it the other direction. It needs a little bit of wiggle room and I want the seam to be in the middle. So I'll cut this paper or tear it here. Then I can fold the other half over. And these two parts, of course, need to overlap. So I'll make a tear there. Now I'll fold these the right way around. That fits in there. And then in order to have this in the middle, we obviously need to cut this down a lot. For example, here for the bottom. And then the top flap can be a little bit longer, so we can cut it here. So now we have the size that we need. And we just need to fold this flap up for the bottom. And we fold this flap down. So we said the top flap is going to be a little bit bigger. Oh, wait, my booklet needs to fit in there. Let's make sure that works. And now we're just going to cut away all the extra bulk that we don't need. So we want the flap on the bottom. So we can cut off these outer parts. And for the top, I'll first just cut straight. I'll cut this at a little bit of an angle. Same thing on this side. Then I'll fold this, not all the way down, but just so that these corners here for the top flap match up. And I'll cut a round corner. So now we can just glue it all together. Making coin envelopes is one of my favorite things to make. It's so easy. So now I can fit the booklet in there. That's a perfect fit. Our heart is in the middle. Yay. This can go in here. And I can journal about my hubby's birthday in the back here. So I've added some journaling on the back. This can now go in here. And I have the feeling I've done something creatively and it makes me feel a whole lot better. Take out some of your craft supplies and just play and see what happens. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.